Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
It's wet and no longer blue. What's new? Primetime local news. Abby and Josh, that rainfall that we were talking about didn't show up at all during the day, but it is now here. So I am only half a terrible weatherman. We're talking again, question of the day, which is what's the most integral condiment in the barbecue repertoire? And barbecue sauce is kind of firmly established at this point.
It's most popular because I guess it's the most universal type of condiment because it can go on any type of meat. So it just really helps.
And you're kind of looked at as a weirdo if you don't have barbecue sauce, at least present for the process. We'll get to that later on in the show. But first, let's head out to Eric Bay, who is on location in Vermillion.
Thanks, guys. Well, today we are back out in Vermillion, and we'll be talking about what they do have going on for their Canada Day celebrations. Now, those celebrations will be taking place on Friday, the 28th. So we're going to have a little preview coming up of what you can expect, also which includes their Taste of Vermillion. And it sounds like there will be a ton of stuff to do. Come check out. There'll be food, lots of activities, and a ton of different stuff to come check out for the entire family. So we're going to have some more back from here throughout the show. But first, we're going to go back into the studio and have a look at your local news.
With the long weekend approaching for Canada Day, there is a few safety tips RCMP want to remind people about, and our Jasmine King has the details on what those are.
The long weekend is typically where we see more RVs and motorhomes on the road, and making sure you know safety precautions for either driving those vehicles or being on the highways with them is important.
You have to be aware of those vehicles on the road. They take more time to stop. They're a lot bigger. Sometimes it's tough to see around them. If you are driving a camper, motorhome, or whatever the case is, take the extra time to make sure you're braking safely and you're giving yourself enough time to stop.
When you leave your home for the weekend, there is a better chance that no one will be watching over it, and that's why Constable Hagel wants people to figure out a plan for house safety beforehand.
The best safety measure for crime prevention, get to know your neighbors. Let your neighbors know, hey, I'm leaving town for a couple of days. Would you mind just poking your head in and make sure everything's all good in my residence? If you have a buddy, hey man, here's my spare key. Please feel free to just check my house out, make sure my basement's not leaking or nothing else happening there.
Canada Day and long weekends usually means more partying, and the RCMP want to remind people of the impaired driving rules.
The RCMP and police focus is always on impaired operation. In Alberta now, we have mandatory alcohol screening. If you are found behind the wheel of a motor vehicle in Alberta, you'll be required to provide a sample into an approved screening device to make sure you don't have any alcohol in your breath. Cannabis has the same rules for impaired operation. We actually have members trained on the roads now that can tell how high or how much cannabis you have consumed just by some simple motor tests they can perform on you.
Constable Hagel also warns people that the penalty for both alcohol and weed impairment while driving is the same.
A local company is celebrating a decade of business here in Lloydminster by donating $10,000 to different charities.
It's vital to us to give back, and this is just our way of saying thank you to the Lloydminster community that has given us so much.
For the next 10 months, Assure Occupational Testing Incorporated is celebrating its 10-year anniversary by donating a total of $10,000 to local charities in the form of a $1,000 check.
There's many deserving charities here in the area. What we did is we compiled a list of them, and we got all of our staff involved. We had to narrow it down to just 10. So the first one, no specific reason why Salvation Army is the first. We had to start somewhere.
The local Salvation Army is the first recipient of the donations. Giving back to local charities is very important to them.
I think it's vital for local charities to have donations to stay doing the important work that they're doing. Just like the Salvation Army, for example, they are a local food bank. They need resources to keep giving back to families in need here in the community, so they rely on donations from local businesses.
The Salvation Army will be receiving their check on July 16th. Other charities will be announced closer to the date they'll be receiving them. The school year has come to an end, but teachers don't stop being teachers. In this week's Last Beyond the Classroom, we take a look at a summer reading program that engages with teachers through Twitter.
we've used that as a tool to connect with teachers within our school division and with teachers beyond our school division around the country, around the world.
This program is a really great way to find new ideas and find teachers that have common interests. So they thought it was another way to expand on something that was already working well for them and bringing it to a new audience in a new way.
We think this is a great book. We know that through Twitter we were able to share with the author of the book that we were going to be doing this reading and tweeting out using book snaps. So it's not a book study, it's just what really is resonating with you. Snap that page or that quote, share it, tag us, tag the author, tag the title of the book.
The book that was chosen to share with teachers is The Essential 55. They chose this book because they think it will appeal to any teacher and students of any age.
It's more about how we conduct ourselves and how we build relationships with the people around us.
Although it's summer, teachers are still willing to stay engaged and continue to share what they read on Twitter.
I think that continuous learning is a part of our job. It's part of our career. It's what we love about being teachers, is that idea that we're always learning and finding new ideas and finding new ways to reach our students. So this is just one of the many ways that we can do that, and we found that it's exciting to explore.
That's it for the last Beyond the Classroom of the school year. We'll be back again in the fall.
Beyond the Classroom is brought to you by Lakeland College. Apply today to heavy oil power engineering or second-class power engineering programs at the Lloydminster campus. Lakeland College, leading learning since 1913.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Once again, we are back here in Vermillion, where today we are talking about their Canada Day celebrations they do have going on here this Friday, and I'm joined now by Sean Bell. So first, can you just give us a little bit of an overview as to what you guys do have going on here?
Sure. We like to celebrate Canada Day early, and so Friday the 28th, we have a range of events. It's a full day program. We've got a pancake breakfast at 7 o'clock here at the fire hall. Which is often which will be followed up by beef on a bun lunch, bucket brigade, business challenge, some downtown kids activities. There's some events down at the mall also. There's a dunk tank and some fun games down there. Horse-drawn carriages to and from the mall during the day as well. And then in the evening, we've got quite a few events down at the Ag Grounds as well, including there's a Taste of Vermilion and beer gardens, outdoor movie, car show, and then, of course, fireworks to cap the whole thing off.
I know you mentioned some of those events like that horse-drawn carriage. Obviously, there might be some lineups. Is there anything people actually have to do to participate, or can they just come out, show up, and have a good time?
Just come out and show up. There might be some lineups for the horse-drawn carriage. We do get pretty good crowds, and we've asked for good weather, and we think we're going to get it. So, just come out and show up, and there's going to be lots of things for the whole family to do. It's a family event, and we think everybody will enjoy it.
All right, thank you for this. We are going to have some more from back here, but first we are going to go back into the studio.
A lot less sunny now than it was earlier today. As you can see, things have cooled down to 13 degrees in the border city, and that rainfall is coming down quickly as well. Haven't heard any claps of thunder in the last few minutes, but we're not holding our breath as to not hearing any more for the rest of the evening. As previously mentioned, the summer of 2002 was a glorious one. It sounds like 1985 was not a glorious June, at any rate. It could have certainly warmed up over the next couple of weeks that particular summer. Clear in Saskatchewan, less clear in Alberta. As you can see there, severe thunderstorm warning in effect as thunderstorms will be popping up all over Alberta. Severe thunderstorm watch as well in effect in the northwest, and down in the central there, rainfall warning also in effect. Favorable conditions once again are hanging around in this region, specifically for funnel clouds, so keep an eye on the alerts that will pop up on Environment Canada. There are in fact tornado warnings down south, so that's something especially to keep an eye on. You can see here a few current temperatures, including 15 in Edmonton, 19 in Red Deer, which is staying relatively warm still. Saskatoon still warm at 23 degrees. You can also see 22 in Prince Albert and 21 over in Melfort. 3-day forecast for Lloydminster has us at 22 degrees and a low of 10 on Thursday, 23 and 14 on Friday, where the rain should be coming back, and then 20 on Saturday with a low of 11, more than a 60% chance of precipitation there, along with a chance of thunderstorms, though there will still be a little bit of sun poking out both those days. Hopefully that is not the case, and it's just clear sunlight on Monday. At this point, though, it's a low percentage chance. We'll have more on this later on in the show.
Welcome back. Well, the labor market forecast for the agriculture sector says a shortage of workers will continue to dog the industry for the next 10 years. The farm labor deficit is expected to double by 2029. Data released by the Canadian Agricultural Human Resource Council says farmers across the sector reported $2.9 billion in lost sales because of unfulfilled job vacancies. That is an increase from $1.5 billion in 2014. Increased use of technology and a growing number of international workers is helping, but the council says labor shortages can only be addressed by taking decisive action. And that's all for egg. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
An incredible journey for goaltender Rowdy Ross added another chapter last week after the Meadow Lake product was selected 169th by the Philadelphia Flyers in the NHL draft. The former Onion Lake Border Chiefs netminder was overcome with emotion hearing his name announced following a long progression through the junior ranks.
A lot of mixed emotions that was going on. I was there with my mom, and it was just something that I'll never forget the feeling of.
His focus is now back with the Seattle Thunderbirds and getting ready for the fall.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to, is a big summer for me, and get all my work in and hopefully tear down the league next year.
Ross posted a 16-5-2 season with Seattle this year. Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Once again, we are back out here in Vermillion talking about their Canada Day celebrations that are happening here this Friday, and I'm joined now by Josh Anderson, and now we're going to be talking a little bit about one of the events in particular, that is the Taste of Vermillion. So can you first tell us a little bit about that?
You betcha. So Taste of Vermillion, we're going to have a car show as you enter the grounds on the east side of the building. Now, after you enter the grounds, we're going to have Remax Real Estate's hot air balloon. They're going to be doing free rides, but they're going to be accepting donations for the stollery, which will be much appreciated, sorry. After that, if you head more to the west, we're going to have some vendors set up, which include Time for You Catering, Serotonin Chocolates, Co-op, Red Brick, Something Sweet, Talco Del Mar, and Birdie's Donuts. North of that, we're going to have our seating area, and we're going to have some live entertainment. We have the Cree Nation out there. We're going to have a new Abnormal band that's going to be playing. And we're going to have the beer gardens there serving Ribstone Creek along with some coolers. A little bit more to the west, we're going to run the Dumbo. We're featuring the Dumbo movie. That's going to run at 10:30, and then we're going to finish the night off with some fireworks.
And now it sounds definitely like a lot of fun, and now you mentioned those hot air balloon rides. So what kind of rides will we take? Will we be kind of just showing off the area, and how can people get onto those?
Well, really, it's going to be a free ride. I'm not sure about the lineups. We're expecting around 800 to 1,000 people, roughly. It's going to be free rides, all accepted from donations, and typically it's just going to be a ride for about 50 feet in the air. You can overlook the town of Vermillion, and they'll just bring you back down.
And you also mentioned there will be some entertainment as well, some local artists, if I am correct. And what's kind of the importance of maybe showing off some of that local talent as well here as part of this?
Well, as Good Life Institute, we're a nonprofit organization, and we're just trying to promote business throughout the town of Vermillion. So if they get their name out, we're trying to promote their name.
All right, thank you for telling us a little bit about this. We are going to have some more from back here about the Canada Day celebrations you can check out here this weekend in Vermillion. But first, we are going to go back into the studio.
And that low-pressure system continues to swirl around past Lloydminster. This is what it looked like earlier this afternoon, making its way through Edmonton, which has a severe thunderstorm warning in effect throughout the area, as well as bleeding into Vegreville, and that certainly will come into effect as it continues to make its way east through the Midwest region. Next here we have those watches and warnings, and again at the moment that is the only area where we have that warning, but we have a thunderstorm watch further west, as well as a severe rainfall warning also in effect. Current temperatures right now 20 in Vermillion and in Vegreville, so some of these outer regions are staying relatively warm. We're kind of in the middle of the storm and it's coldest here, I guess. 15 in Edmonton, 19 up in Lac La Biche, and when we move out east to Saskatchewan, also a little bit warmer with 20 in Green Lake, 19 in Meadow Lake, and 20 in St. Walburg, as you can see there. Maidstone also still sitting at 19 degrees, which has been the case rather over the last 2 hours. Macklin and Provost a little bit warmer at 21 and 23 degrees there. Now North Battleford is also holding out strong at 22 degrees with a little bit of sunlight at the moment, but there will be some more cloud cover making its way there. Westerly winds at 5 kilometers per hour will start to pick up overnight into the east. 10 degrees rather is the low, with a high of 24 expected for tomorrow. A little bit of sun peeking out of what is largely a cloudy afternoon. Cold Lake sitting at 20 degrees, and it's getting cloudier by the second. Low of 10 expected overnight as the wind shifts from the southeast to the east-southeast, then the east-northeast tomorrow afternoon. 22 degrees the expected high, a little more sunlight expected in Cold Lake, and calmer winds just 9 kilometers out of the east-northeast. And here in Lloydminster, as stated before, 13 degrees with rainfall coming down, wind coming out of the east, and that will continue over the next 24 hours. Another low of 10 and another high of 22 is the scheduled forecast there. And as we get into our 7-day, 23 is the high on Friday, where we have a 62% chance of precipitation. So if those of you who want to get outside, hopefully you can get that done tomorrow, as we are expecting a lot of rainfall Friday evening. A low of 14, then a high of 20 and a low of 11 on Saturday, where those thunder showers should continue. Sunday, a high of 20 and a low of 10. Monday with a high of 22 and a low of 12. Could be a warm Canada day, but there's still a 56% chance of precipitation coming down. So keep an eye on that, with a high of 20 on Tuesday, a low of 7, and 22 and 10 to finish the week off on Wednesday.
Today I'm joined here with Jackie Tomer. She is the marketing manager for the Lloyd X, and today we are going to be talking about Colonial Days, which is almost 2 weeks away from the festivities. So we're just going to discuss, what to expect and all the entertainment that's going on. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess let's start out by, what can people expect if they've never been to a Colonial Days here?
So they can expect over 150 activities over 4 days. So we have everything from egg shows to grandstand concerts, monster trucks, PBR bull riding, Midway, of course, amazing fair food. Our 150 Pub and Eatery has great talent in it, with a hypnotist, a tribute singer. We have a kids stage, we have a raptor show, we have a dog show. So we have so much available to everyone.
So many different options that, if somebody doesn't like one thing, there's still something for them, which is always great when you're going to an event like this. It's been going on for a very long time. What is something this year that's maybe different from the last couple of years?
So this year we were excited to announce just last week that we are introducing a family day. So on Thursday, July 11th, you can come in from 11 to 2 for free admission for everyone. You can just walk through the gates, free admission, and a reduced armband rate. So you can get an armband for $34, ride all day long on the armband, and free admission. So that means you're getting the grandstand concert for free, you're getting all the entertainment, you're getting the yard thrill show for free. You come in between 11 and 2. So we're really excited to launch this, and hopefully it'll be a success and we can carry that going forward. Our grandstand entertainment always changes every year, so we have 4 great bands coming to our grandstand. We're hoping to fill that up. We have Stephen Page from Bare Naked Ladies, we have Prism and Sweeney Todd, we have Aaron Goodvin, who I'm really excited to see, and then we're capping off the show with Trooper. Our yard thrill show, we have this extreme dog sport coming, we have the Raptors show coming. We just have so much that we're really excited about.
And how does admission work? Because I know you just mentioned wristbands for the ride. So you have general admission, and then you have to get a separate band for
Yeah,
rides.
so right now down at the Lloyd Co-op, we have our super passes. So that includes your gate admission plus your armband at a reduced savings. So we encourage everyone to go down to the Co-op and get that ahead of time to save themselves a couple extra bucks. But then if you just come down on the days, it's $15 to enter the grounds, and everything else, there's no other paid unless you want to go on the rides.
And what sort of foods, because I know carnival food is a really big part, I know everyone enjoys those, especially me. What kind of carnival type foods will people expect?
So we have all of our regular Midway food that's coming. That's going to be great. So the mini donuts, the lemonade, the corn dogs. Then at our end, at our exhibition grill, we're selling a 2-foot hot dog. So you can feed your whole family with this 2-foot hot dog. Plus, you're going to get a T-shirt with that if you purchase the hot dog. And then in our 150 Pub and Eatery, we have a chicken cordon bleu sandwich that is topped with fried avocado.
Wow.
And then we have a Scotch egg burger that Rob has dreamed up. So that's going to be exciting.
That sounds really, really good. I've never heard of fried avocado on something. You know, avocado has been really big and trendy, but I've never heard of frying it. But that just sounds
we're going to deep fry it, and we've taste tested it a little bit, and it's been amazing.
Oh, perfect. And talking about entertainment, what kind of bands or entertainment will be at Colonial Days?
So I mentioned our grandstand shows. Then in our 150 Pepper and Eatery, we have the Dirt Rich Band coming for 2 nights. They're local celebrities, local heroes. They just put on such a great show. We're so excited. And then on Friday night, we have Garrett Gregory. He's an up-and-comer. He's from the Calgary area. He's going to be there. And then we have Kelsey Kaluk coming from on the Saturday night. And she spends a majority of her time in Nashville, but she's going to come and join us here in Lloydminster for a one-night show.
Oh, well, that sounds really perfect. And really quickly before we wrap up, what are the dates, and again, how can people get tickets?
So July 10th to 13th, they can go down to the Lloydminster Co-op Marketplace to purchase their super passes beforehand. We really encourage everyone to do that. We are really excited. So some of our big sponsors that have come on board, our Family Day is sponsored by Canadian Tire. So we're really excited to bring Canadian Tire on board. Boundary Ford sponsors our grandstand show. And our Demolition Debris, which I didn't mention, is Saturday, and it's super big and exciting, is sponsored by Nissan. So we are super excited about all of the activities that we have planned.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much for coming in. And just a reminder, Colonial Days is almost 2 weeks away, so don't forget to go and check them out. So
thank you so much.
Hey, it's Justin Marshall from Cool 101.3 in Bonnyville and Boom 95.3 in Cold Lake. And here's what's happening around the Lakeland. Well, coming up July 5th and 6th, it's Monster Truck Extravaganza. Big Red promotion in Lakeland Connect, bringing monster trucks to Bonnyville. The Bonnyville Ag Society Rodeo Grounds. If you want more details, head to boom953.ca. Caught up with Mike Leslie from Big Red Promotions. Why did Big Red Promotions put this thing on, Mike?
Well, I've been working around monster trucks for a long time, and last year I was at a show in Edmonton, and all I seen is people from the Lakeland and people that I talked with were from Lloydminster, from Bonnyville, Cold Lake, etc. And I was like, why should they travel? Why not have something here? So I got together with some people, and they were interested, and so we're going to put on a show here.
Tickets are $55. You can get them on our website. The link's there. What can people expect when they come to the show?
Well, we have renowned monster trucks coming to the show that are going to be working, jumping, flying, doing stuff that is unheard of around here. We have freestyle motocross riders from the X Games. We have Hellfire Jet Truck coming in. He's a jet-powered, fastest Peterbilt in the world. He's going to do a fire show, burn down. We have lawnmower racing. It's going to be a solid 3 hours of entertainment.
Well, we can't wait, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Justin.
And if you would like to feature an event on what's happening, email me, jmarshall@stingray.com.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Today I'm joined here with Jerry Duhame. He's a senior travel consultant, and today we're going to be talking about popular destinations for the summer through vacations and where to go when you want to get away and have a little vacation, as it is summertime.
Absolutely.
And school's done, or at least on their last week. So thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
So let's start with popular destinations that people kind of gravitate towards during like the summer months.
As Canadians, we kind of have two seasons, a winter season and a summer season. In the winter, it's pretty easy to tell why people want to get out of this country because of the weather. But in the summer, we have decent weather usually, and so people kind of gravitate to traveling across the country, our own country. Atlantic Canada is very popular this time of the year, particularly for seniors who want to do motor coach tours or something that's inclusive and they don't have to worry about driving. But there's also people who will pick up a car in, say, Halifax and do their own Atlantic Canada drive, fly drive we call it. So they have accommodation booked for them for each night in advance. They have a car rental and their flights are booked, and so they just tour around on their own. So a little bit of independent travel as well. Now also, this season kind of switches from the winter destinations where we like the sun and the beaches to adventure tours. So people like to do Europe in the summer as well. So the flights kind of switch from the sun spots to the European destinations, where we have these fabulous river cruises where you can cross the country on a river boat and have an absolutely fantastic experience, or sail around the outside of the countries in the Mediterranean on a beautiful big cruise ship. And so there's all kinds of different travel types you can do.
And what sort of some things that people should remember if they're traveling outside of Canada, or like, going to the US or going to Europe?
I think the thing to remember is that you're not in your own country anymore. You really have to be a little bit prepared about what's going on, particularly if you're going to the Eastern Bloc countries. Know what the style is for them. In some cases you have to have a headdress. In some cases you can't have bare sleeves for the ladies. So there's lots of things you have to be careful about. But one of the most important things nowadays is to have proper travel insurance. We've noticed now that the province of Ontario has come out with a law that they're not prepared to pay for out-of-country medical expenses anymore. There are really good travel insurance companies who will look after those costs, so it's really important that you do that. The other thing is to have the proper documentation. Obviously a passport is required to leave the country, even to go to the US nowadays. But what people sometimes don't know is that you need a visa. You need permission to enter some of the countries, such as Australia or some of the Eastern Bloc countries. So it's not a matter of just getting on a plane, grabbing your passport and going. There's some preparation that needs to be done.
And with those preparations, like let's say someone is traveling to certain countries that need visas or permissions, how long in advance should they be preparing to travel those countries?
I think a simple rule of thumb would be 3 to 6 months. Maybe 3 months for a Western European country, perhaps a little longer to an Eastern Bloc or a Middle East country because of the requirements, and to get all your ducks in order and get all the travel agents you want to have pre-booked, looked after before you go.
And traveling to Europe especially, like they have so many different types of cultures that we may not have here. What are, I guess your opinion, what are some of the more unique places in Europe or other countries even that have different cultures than to be able to go experience?
There is so much history and culture in Europe that it's one of our personal favorite destinations. The closest thing we have to Europe in our own country would be Quebec City, the old Quebec City. So the cobblestone streets, the beautiful old buildings, the food, you have to sample the food. You got to kind of experience it like it is over there, and not order a hamburger, but order, the local dish and try it, because it's fantastic food. That's where basically it all started, is in France and Germany. The best food in the world is there.
Yeah. And really quickly before we wrap up, if anyone has any more, in-depth questions, or they want to get more of your experience, how can they get a hold of you? Absolutely.
We have summer hours now. We're open Monday to Friday, but in the winter months we're open 6 days a week. And you can certainly drop in the office or give us a call at Carlson Vaughan Travel. We'd be more than happy to help you. We have 5 of our really experienced agents. We've had one who just completed a river cruise here in the spring, and I've done 5 river cruises. So if you're looking to do Europe, we've got a lot of experience and a lot of suggestions we can give you.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Once again, today we are back here in Vermillion talking about their Canada Day celebrations that will be happening here this Friday all throughout town, and they will be having a ton of different stuff, including some horse-drawn carriage rides, which you can take part in around. And again, those don't cost anything to actually take part in. You just got to show up, have a good time, and that is not the only rides that they will be offering here on Friday. They will also be doing some hot air balloon rides as well, so you can go up and instead of a plane like you're used to, take a hot air balloon, which is pretty unique, and again, taking some great scenery of the area. And to close everything off in the evening, they will also be having some local entertainment. A few local bands and artists will be performing here, having a good time, and again, showing off some of that local flair here in Vermillion. So that's all we have from here tonight. Now we'll go back to the studio where Josh and Abby are going to wrap up tonight's news.
Thanks very much. Once again, 22 degrees tomorrow, and then some chances of thunder showers Friday and Saturday. 20 on Sunday, 22 on Canada Day, but still a chance of rain there, and then 20 to finish off your 7-day forecast. Little peek. Little peek of sun at the very end there.
I'm very excited for Wednesday, as hopefully it stays that it's going to be very sunny and no chance of rain. So fingers crossed that it stays like that, because I'm ready for it.
And we'll see if you can acquire some barbecue equipment by then.
Yes, maybe.
Check out some of these suggestions our viewers had suggested for integral condiments. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll be back with you again tomorrow evening. It'll be Abby and Jasmine at the helm then. So enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great Wednesday night, rather.